My name is Jessie Ace. I'm part of a group of enabled warriors that you've probably never heard of. We're fighting back against our invisible illness and taking the dis out of disability. We don't give sympathy to our symptoms. They enable us to be the warrior that we are. If you ask doctors and nurses, they'd say what we're doing is impossible. But pushing the limits of our conditions is something that we have to break through every single day. So we push the limits. We are mentally strong, and we can do anything. The question is, how far can we push those limits? This podcast will give you the answers. I'm Jessie Ace, and this is the Disabled to Enabled podcast. Hey Enabled Warriors, and today's show, you are going to be blown away by this next guest. So this next guest is called Marissa, like Maria, is that right?
That's right.
I did ask you before we came on. So Marissa has progressive MS, but she fights back against it every day. So in between treatments, she trains her body and does many running events such like Walk MS. And she set up the movement Fight for Mobility, and I absolutely love this movement. I'm dying to hear more about it. So this encourages empowerment in everyone to fight back against their illnesses. And she is amazing, and she is here today. And I'm so looking forward to this interview.
I am too.
Hey.
So excited.
I've literally watched like everything on your channels this morning. I'm just like, wow, I can't wait for this guest. That's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
So, hi, welcome to the show.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I am like, today, I thought today we're going to change M for Monday to MS Warriors Unite.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, right? Because that's what we're doing today. We're uniting. I'm loving
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Amazing. Can you share with us a little bit more about who you are and what you kind of do day to day?
So who I am is I actually work as a managing partner with aerospace and a major corporation. It's a part of talent management. So my team is amazing. They're the infrastructure and the backbone when it comes to getting interviews, to solidifying interviews, to getting offers. I love what I do. I love my team. It's very fast-paced. Clearly, I'm a fast-paced person. But I always say, as much as I love my job, it's almost becoming, it's my priority, right? But running, I always say running is my career.
Running is your career. I love that.
I love to run, you know? So, And who I am, I'm just too stubborn to quit. Too stubborn to quit.
Amazing. So you live with your husband?
I do.
With Dave? Yeah.
6'5" Dave. He's taller than me. I look like a hobbit next to him.
It's the best kind of relationship, don't worry. Do you have any children or anything?
I have a bird named Samuel Lee Jackson.
Oh, that's amazing.
And a cat named Fido. So clearly this is a very interesting home.
It's a very interesting relationship too.
Those are my kids. Both rescues. I believe in rescuing animals. So
me too, definitely. Yeah. I have a dog. She came from Romania. She was in a kill pen. So yes, she's an absolute nightmare, to be honest, when you take her for a walk, but she's the loveliest little dog ever.
They love us. Yeah. I actually had, I know we'll get into it later, but I had doggy biscuits that I love to make. I don't have a dog. I obviously need one.
Okay.
And I made doggy biscuits at the last MS walk. It was so cool.
Oh. Is that something that some people do at the MS walk? Do they take their dogs with them?
They do, and a lot of times they're companion dogs, or people on my team just brought their dogs. One person actually ate the doggy biscuits because they're like, you know what, these smell so good.
I thought you were going to say ate the dog. I was going to like, what?
That would be a whole nother conversation.
That would be a whole nother conversation, yeah.
No, they ate the doggy biscuits, yeah.
Oh, Lucy, you could come with us next time. That would be amazing.
We get bacon peanut butter biscuits.
Well, she can't actually eat dog biscuits of any sort because she's allergic to literally everything on the planet.
They're gluten-free.
Dedicated kibble thing.
I have to send you some. They're gluten-free doggy biscuits.
Yeah? Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I'm very, obviously, I should start, like, Fight for Mobility makes doggy biscuits.
Totally. I mean, dogs are a huge caregiver. Come on.
Yeah, I love that.
They are the unsung heroes. So tell us more about your actual MS. Like, how have you, can't talk today, I'm so tired, can you tell? Yeah. How long have you been diagnosed, and how did it kind of happen? What's your story?
Wow. So I was diagnosed in August of 2018. I showed
so quite recently.
Yeah, it was. I showed symptoms though in August of 2013.
Oh wow. Okay.
I was having a lot of issues, just vision. They kept saying I had optic rosacea. When I really have the eye vision issues related to the MS, they actually did a whole workup and saw. But I wanted to run Philadelphia Marathon. And I said, I keep falling. And the doctor said, well, it's not compartment syndrome. I said, well, whatever it is, it's your job to find it. And I do firmly believe as a patient, you have to kind of go, you need to figure it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And they did. And they said it wasn't just MS. They said, you have acute demyelination. It's in your spine. It's in your brain. It's in your eye. And I'm like, can you just remove them? Remove those lesions. And they're like, we can't remove lesions. They're scars. That's what most of them. I'm like, oh, but I want to run. And they're like, okay, most people with MS don't. I've learned through the community, yeah, we do run. We are active. We lift weights. We find a way. MS does not mean stop.
No.
Yeah.
No. At least it doesn't have to. I mean, quite a lot of people, I think, are kind of held back by their own negative self-beliefs, and they kind of say to themselves, well, I can't do this because I've got MS, or I can't do this because I've got this, or whatever. But I do believe there is a way around.
There is. But you know what's amazing? If it wasn't for MS, would you and I have met?
No, that's the thing. How incredible.
Yeah. There was a gentleman, when I was in the city, I left all my makeup, left everything at home, because I don't live in New York. And there was a gentleman that was helping me. He was at the spa, and he said, what are you here for? I said, oh, there's a New York City MS walk. I did one yesterday. And he got really quiet. He said, my dad had MS. And they lived in Puerto Rico. They didn't have the accessibility that we do in the States. And he gave me the biggest hug. And he said to me, you need to keep fighting. Because his dad's unfortunately no longer with him. I said, oh, yes, I will. I said, I won't keep fighting. I'll make sure that my fellow MS warriors, we continue to fight for those that are not here to fight.
Yeah.
I would never have met him. That conversation would have never happened. I would have never been in New York City for an MS walk at that time. So while I always say MS has to deal with me, I can also say find the positivity amidst the lesions that we bear.
Absolutely. Because there are a lot of good sides to MS if you really look for them. So, I mean, like, when I think back 6 years ago when I was diagnosed, I was a completely different person back then. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really pay attention to the world around me, if you know what I mean. I was just kind of like living in my own little bubble and like not bothered about anything else kind of thing. And now I'm just like completely different, so like I've just got such an awareness of everything and everyone and why people do certain things, and
and don't you like the you now?
I do. I prefer the me much more. much more.
I do. I like the me now. And I think the me, and probably one of the things I say is the us then probably worried about stuff that now we're like, eh.
Oh gosh, yeah, all the time. I'm worried about everything.
One of my good friends, Steph Bougie, he runs Fleet Feet, owns a Fleet Feet store. She said something to me. She said, I remembered you when you were running the Saucony 2016. She says, and you weren't confident. I said, I wasn't. She goes, no, you were always concerned and questioning, how you were doing. She says, now you're like, hi, I'm here. And I said, okay. I said, that's kind of a cool compliment, because I always say that you have two choices, either succumb to the illness or fight it.
Totally. Yeah.
So we're fighters, we're warriors.
Absolutely. I know, I'm so impressed with what you do as well. I mean, just like for enabled warriors that haven't yet seen, and I say yet because you will want to go and see this, Marissa's YouTube channel, she does so many crazy things. Like just watching you work out will just like blew my mind. I don't even know if I could do that. Because I'm just like, whoa.
It's crazy. So the first video, I actually reenacted everything I did after my Ocrevus infusion treatment, which was the same week that we shot that first video. Oh. So I was bench pressing, I was flipping tires.
Rope thing, I know that's really hard, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, but it gives you good muscles for the summer.
You
know what it is? It's the reason why I do that is it's sending a signal to those nerves, right? So that neuropathy, the nerves are alive, but if you don't use them, they will go into atrophy. So what I'm doing with every one of those movements is literally just like, hi, I know you're there.
Start working, please.
But I come alive when I work out. I do.
No, I think it's brilliant. I just think you're so inspiring. And enabled warriors watching this, you really do need to go and follow the Fight for Mobility YouTube channel and the Instagram as well. So we'll mention those links at the end. But
okay, cool.
Enabled warriors listening, totally go and follow Marisa because she's like a legend. And
What do you think is your kind of biggest obstacle that you've faced on your journey so far, do you think?
It's the finish line. I have to continue to envision myself crossing that finish line. Not the finish line today, not the finish line six years ago or 5 years ago when I showed symptoms. That's the one thing that I will say keeps me up sometimes, or I have in my sleep. And the reality is if that's the only thing that's bothering me, I can control that. It's the finish line for every race, but I have to realize that when I'm running those races, I'm running it as me now and not me then. Yeah.
Amazing. The new, stronger, new you.
New you. And you got to power through stuff. If you think about it, whether you're a runner or not, we all have a finish line, all of us.
Yeah, totally. And for some people that may, they may struggle to get upstairs or whatever one day, and that might be their finish line. Or you might be a marathon runner and have to cross that finish line. It's different for everybody. So is there anything that you thought that you couldn't do when you got diagnosed, and how have you kind of pushed through that?
So when I was first diagnosed, I do remember, and Cheryl Heil has become a good friend of mine. Absolutely adore her. I tell her she's a trailblazer. She's so humble. She's like, no, I'm not. Yes, you are. If you're listening, yes, you are. But I remember the doctors, both neurologists said, if we get you an AFO, you can run. Well, here's the reality. What you don't see is all the practice that she and other runners that wear AFOs do.
Okay.
So when I first put it on, I couldn't run. So today, when I couldn't do an eighth of a mile, being a former marathon runner, to now, as of last week, hitting that 5 mile marker, it just tells me that when you're given the tools, you've just got to learn to use them and use them the right way.
Totally.
But that was hard. I think it was hard because I thought, like, I got the AFOs, I can run. And I'm like, I'm going to go and be fast. And I couldn't. And that was hard. Now I can get in my AFOs. I can do 2 MS walks back to back and be like,
oh my goodness. Oh. That's insane. So for enabled warriors listening who might not know what an AFO is, can you kind of describe what it is, how you wear it, kind of thing? How it feels? How does it feel?
It's funny. When you first wear it, it feels like there's something in your shoe. And you're like,
okay.
And then what that means is you might need to get it ground down so that it really properly fits your shoe with your orthotis, which is what I did. But an AFO is an ankle foot orthotic. Okay. And what it does is it props the foot up. It goes under the sole, right, of the shoe. And then you put your sole in. And what it does is it keeps the foot a little bit elevated so that you don't have that immediate foot drop. And in time, you can build those muscles so that you can start building your mileage, whether you walk or you run. So it helps to be, I guess you could say, a strong foundation, whether you're walking or running.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I wear them all the time. Yeah.
Cool. Does it go like up the back of your leg as well?
It does. It goes on the back of my leg. I actually can take it off. It's right here. I'm going to take it off. It's always here we go. So this is my AFO.
Oh, cool.
And the way that it props on is right here. So you can see how it props the foot up a little bit so that it doesn't have that immediate foot drop. So it's not leveled for that reason. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, I have names for them, 3rd leg, 4th leg, and I've been told that that's politically correct.
Okay.
Because without them, I will fall and not be able to walk or run. So they are my 3rd or 4th leg. I mean, I do have a cane, so I did want to wear pink shoes the other day to hear a keynote speaker, and I wore pink shoes, and I called the cane Methuselah.
Of course.
Of course. I should have worn my AFOs because, you know what? I was like, sometimes you just got to own what you have, and you just got to be you.
Totally, yeah. And that's what it's all about. It is just owning everything that you have. So I love that. Thanks for showing us those, because that's just really helpful for, because I mean, like I don't really use things like that. So people come on and they tell me things like that, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds good. And I don't really know what it is, I'll be honest with you.
And then when you see it, you're like, oh.
That makes sense now. I get it.
And I mess with people sometimes. So I wear 2 of them for my left leg and my right leg. I have foot drop primarily in my right. And people ask me what they are, and I go, it's my armor.
Love that.
And then they're like, really? I'm like, no. And then I explain it.
It is funny when people believe you as well. The shock on their face when you say things like that to them is like so amusing.
Because you got to do it with a serious face. It's my armor. What are you battling? I said MS. What?
What's that?
Conversation. Some people have, I'll be honest with you, because you realize it, and some people have made harsh comments, why do you wear that? How can you run in that? And I go, this is an opportunity to learn. let me teach you. You have to learn to just kind of, this is a learning opportunity. It buys you 30 seconds. When someone says something crass, like I was running with a group and a woman blurted out, "Why are you running in those?" And I said, "This is a learning opportunity. Let me tell you why." It buys you 30 seconds of not saying what you probably want to say.
Yeah.
It ends up being a positive conversation, because I'm not about the negative. You've got to be positive. You really have to be.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's like when, and we'll probably get into this a little bit later, but it's like when you use your kind of handicap parking space.
Yes.
I don't know how it's different in the US, but we have like a card, like a
Yes.
card, and it's got a picture of a wheelchair on it. So as soon as anybody sees me getting out of a car who's parked in that space, they're like, "Why have you just parked there? You obviously don't need it. You haven't got a wheelchair." I'm sure they assume it's my grandma's or something.
Yeah.
Okay. And first I was like really annoyed at them, but then I kind of thought, well, do you know what? To them, I look normal. So let me teach you about what this thing that I have is called. Yeah, try and make it in a positive way.
You have to. I've had people, so I will tell you that when I first got in the mail, I cried.
Yeah, I did as well.
I was like, ah. And then a good friend of mine said, Marisa, she said, there are people that wish they could walk out of that car. And it changed my thinking on it. And I'll tell you, I call it preferred parking. So especially when it's raining and I'm like, I really don't want to, I need to but I need it. And I have to own the fact that I was given it for a reason.
Yes.
I've had those problems. I've gotten out of a car and someone's like, "You parked in the wrong spot." I go, "Wow, I did?" They're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "That's funny. It's on that sticker." And they're like, "Oh." And I'm like, "That's okay." And I walk away. And you smile. You're like, "Really? I parked in the wrong spot again." You can't be combative, right?
Yeah.
I also look at it as you flip it. They're also thinking of you and I. Because there are people that park in those spots that shouldn't.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But when I smile and say, "My name's on it," they're like,
Ours has a photo on it as well, so you can literally just hold it up and just be like, "It's me."
That's even better. Because mine's like my driver's license number is what's really on it, But even still, I would love that. I'd be like,
picture of my face. Look familiar.
Yeah, I take terrible photos when it comes to DMV, so it would probably be like, and I don't know if I want that. Like, "Oh, yeah, you don't need to park there, honey. There's something wrong with you."
Yeah, I mean, the main issue that I have with parking, to be honest, is and that kind of whole like disabled thing. I hate the word disabled, and like I don't agree with having that picture of a wheelchair. I just don't agree that should be, what's the word? The word has got associated, if you like, with disability, because it's not everybody is in a wheelchair. And actually, I can't remember if I read this on one of your pages or one of someone else's pages, but it's like 85% of people in wheelchairs can actually get up and walk out of them. I think I've read that somewhere. And I was like, that's amazing.
It is. I changed the word from disabled to enabled.
Oh, brilliant.
No,
that's exactly what I did just
I've been enabled. So does it make you feel better instead of saying disabled?
Totally. And when I use my parking badge thing, I call it VIP parking.
Yes, I do too.
Like, get out of the way. This is my spot. I'm a VIP.
This is why I like you, Jessie, because
makes you feel so much better.
So much better. And I like that, VIP.
VIP parking.
2 snaps. You have to be like 2 snaps. I'm aging myself when I do that. I like how I'm on your show. You're from the UK, right?
Yeah.
I'm channeling Sporty Spice with my hair still from the
You
MS.
totally are. Oh my God.
She's my favorite Spice Girl. Sporty Spice, are you listening? Look I'm channeling your hair.
You so got that.
Thank you.
I was always a fan of Baby Spice.
Baby Spice is cute.
Yeah, and then I kind of grown up and I've kind of realised that actually I could never be Baby Spice because I'm definitely not blonde. I would never be blonde.
I'm not really blonde either. You could be, if I'm blonde, you could be Baby Spice. Okay, let's go there.
Amazing. I'm more likely to be Scary Spices. So anyway, going back to the actual interview, like what are your day-to-day MS conditions kind of like what are your daily symptoms, if you like? So
I do have these phantom pains. I have my hands, so I'll be holding something and then it will just drop, so something I struggle with. If for whatever reason, I decided to run out of the house and maybe go get gas and didn't put my AFO on, even though I generally wear them throughout the house.
Yeah.
I might find that I have to drive with my left leg versus my right leg. That's something that but for the most part, I think the daily struggles are just the different things. It doesn't always, it's not consistent. And that's the one thing with MS. It's never consistent, it might be just like forgetting where my car keys are and they're in my jacket.
Oh, I've done that so many times.
Yeah.
Or I've been like walking around looking for my phone and I'm like, I don't know where my phone is. Has anybody seen my phone? And I'm holding it in my hand. I'm like, why cannot just work that out? I don't know. It's just
I have one-on-one meetings with my team members. We check in one-on-one. How are you? I have to type it now in like an Excel spreadsheet, and I save it weekly, because one of the best things, and not a good thing, is if you tell me something, I might completely forget it, which isn't good. Like there's eggs on the stove, I'm boiling. And then I smell smoke from my home office. I'm like,
what's that?
They're like toasted eggs. That's a problem. So those are some of the things I could just point out that come up. And I think and I'll go there because we're on this podcast. If you need to use the facility and there's somebody with MS and they're banging on that door, let them in. That's it. That's it. I'm not going to go any further. Just let us in.
Yes.
I happened in a restaurant in Jersey. I was with my friend. I was new to MS, didn't understand all the schematics. And the lady goes, where would you like to sit? I go, I need to sit in your bathroom for a minute. And she's like, okay. That would be the loo, right? The loo. I needed to go to the loo. And my friend's like, what just happened? And I'm like, just, So yeah. Anyways.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. So what's the one thing that you've really learned since you've had MS, do you think?
It's a life sentence, not a death sentence. We have to live with it,
I like that. That's so much better.
So much better. And that's how you have to look at it. And to be honest with you, in life, there's always going to be unexpected chain of events, and not everything that terrible that happens to us is because of MS. It's because of life. So you just got to bear with it sometimes.
I always kind of say that it's not the cards that you dealt that's the problem. It's what you do with those cards.
Yes. I love that. It is. There are people who have it worse than us. Totally. So I did a state action where I met with the local senators about insurance and to ensure that the insurance companies couldn't stop people with MS specifically from getting the certain drugs that they need. Like, for example, I need Ocrevus because I have a very high John Cunningham virus, and because mine's at 17, wow. Cap is 15. They need to let me still have Lemtrada or Ocrevus because they're known to not affect the PML. So while I was there, I saw this gentleman in a wheelchair. I went up to him and I'm like, hi, John. His name had his tags, John. And he's talking to me, and his companion who's with him says, John can't see you. And I said, that's okay, John. I don't think I look that great today. It's probably to your benefit that you can't see me. And he chuckled. And as we talked, I thought of one of the keynote speakers that same week, the day before. She said, part of the fight is staying in the fight. So part of the fight, and I said that to him, I said, John, can you do me one favor? Could you stay in this fight? Because his MS had caused him to be blind in both of his eyes. He was unfortunately in a wheelchair, needed complete assistance. I had him repeat it with me. And the reality is I didn't have him repeat it technically for him to repeat it because I wanted him to remember it. But I needed him to say that back to me. I needed to get that universal energy kicked back, to realize there are days we're fighting for people that have it far worse than us.
That's so true. So true.
Yeah. And they did sign that bill, so. Just thought we'd put that in there. They were all amazing.
So tell us why you really started to get into like the running and stuff. Where did that come from?
I started it when I was a senior in high school. I had dropped a bunch of weight and I just loved to go off. And I'm a long distance runner, working my way back. And I mean, I'd go on vacation and I could just run. And what I always say is take it out on the pavement. You having a bad day? Take it on the pavement. You want to kind of zone out, listen to your music, take it out on the pavement. So to me, it's very therapeutic, and I feel free.
So I started running about 5 weeks ago and never ran before. I've always said, like, I'm not built for running. I just can't do it. And then 5 weeks on, I actually, and this is not going to sound very much, I know, but this morning I actually ran for 19 minutes straight. And that is
Yes!
like a big deal for me.
That is a big deal.
What have I just done? That's insane.
No, that's a big, now, do you have the foot drop on too as well?
No, I'm very lucky to not have that. I have actually injured both of my knees.
Then yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, even if you don't have MS, it does hurt. And I'm sure you're reprogramming those mechanics. It's the body mechanics. The mind will do, sorry, hold on. Got this straight. The body will do what the mind wants. So what you did with those 19 minutes, your mind said, I'm going to do it. Your body said, let's do it. And that's all.
Like, oh, okay.
Some people can't run 5 minutes and they don't have any type of physical.
At the start.
No, and when you're running it, you're like, why did I do this? Every day I get on that, either I'm on the treadmill or the track, I'm like, why am I doing this? Why don't I want to? I always say, why can't I learn to knit? I should be like a knitter. But I won't because I tried and it was bad. So you got out there. I think that's awesome, Jessie. Kudos on that. And don't minimize it. You did 19 minutes. You did 19 more than someone else that wanted to do it that day.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It felt pretty awesome. Not gonna lie. But yeah, have you got like any tips for someone listening who is kind of really kind of negative and kind of like, oh, I really don't feel great. I don't know how people can actually go out and run or lift weights or anything. What would you say to them to kind of inspire them to kind of go and do it, to go and try?
That's a great question because I've been there.
Mm.
If you expect to go into that gym and lift or bench press 300 pounds, well, first of all, there are people who've been doing that a lot longer than you and can't do that, probably because they haven't built to that. The same thing with running. You have to start slow. So I always say the best thing you can do is do it like a couch to 5K. So
that's
walk
exactly
that.
what I'm doing.
There you go. So that's it. If you have to do benchmarks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every time you're doing something, and in one of the videos, I'm doing this like in a video that's coming out, and everyone's like, "What is this?" in the promo. It's breathing. So when you're breathing, if you can't talk while you're running, then you're running too fast. So yeah, that's a gauge.
Mm.
I mean, I'm not saying people should be talking to themselves, but maybe it's a song, but you're singing. But if you can't breathe the way you're supposed to, try to breathe in slowly, try to do it from your abdomen, not from your chest. Those are just some tips that help. And start slow. You're your own competitor. So don't feel like I'm going to run fast and then you flatline. You got to build. Yeah.
I mean, like when I first started this, and I actually started this mission because I used to tell myself a lot, like I have serious fatigue on most days, and I just thought, I can't do anything. I just feel like so drained of energy all the time. And I just thought, I don't understand how people, I used to get really confused actually of why they do things like walk MS and that sort of thing. Because I'm like, well, we struggle to walk, we struggle to be in function. Like, why can we not just have a sponsored sleepathon? I would totally rock that.
That'd be awesome.
Like, that's insane. But so right at the start, I was carrying a wash basket of washing upstairs because our washing machine's downstairs. I was bringing it back up to the bedroom to put away. And I was so out of breath. And I was like, I'm 28 years old. This should not be happening at 28 years old. Like, I'm seriously out of shape. So I thought, right, I'm going to do something about it. And I take my dog for a walk every day, but she literally only goes to the end of the road and back because I couldn't go any further. And I just thought, I'm not doing her justice, actually taking her on this short distance. So I was like, right, I want to build up some strength and I want to actually go and do it and start running and just give it a go, see how I get on. So I'm planning on doing a 5K in the next couple of weeks.
I want a picture when you finish that.
Scary. It will probably be all over Facebook, so don't worry about it.
You said something that was critical. You said you thought of your dog. And I know that seems silly, but it's not.
No.
When you think of other people or animals and you put them before yourself, does that not motivate you to want to do it?
Totally, yeah. Yeah, because I'm doing it for her as well. It's for her own fitness, isn't it? So, I'm like, she's literally been asleep all day. I think I've really worn her out this morning. So funny.
But she'll have to build her endurance like you.
Exactly, yeah. And she's really good because she's there with me on the run every day. And I'm like, you're doing great, Lucy. Keep going. And I'm like, I know she can't understand me. I know that. But, I think it's nice to support her.
It's the golden rule, when you put others before yourself, you're going to succeed because you take yourself out of the equation, you're going to want to help them more. So you're going to end up in turn helping yourself. It's a twofold, you know?
That's so true. So true.
Yeah.
So what would you say is your motivation? Or who, should I say?
Other than that, I like my peanut butter back and they took it away from me on my pizza. Anyways, Fight for Mobility is not actually about me. I'm in it. We have upcoming videos coming out, but it's not about me. When I was diagnosed, I thought, is there anyone out there like me? Like, does anybody have fatigue? Does anybody have a hard time getting up or sleeping? You know, you could be completely fatigued, but you can't sleep.
Yeah. Oh, that is so annoying.
It's very annoying because you're like, but whether you're having an emotional or physical immobility, to me, that's why there's a Fight for Mobility. That's why the channel was supposed to be, hi, I have this, and that was it. It's supposed to be one video. That was it. It turned into something, and whenever I film or whenever we do something, I always say it's not about me. At the end of the day, I'm the one that has to do those races. I'm the one that has to keep that positive motivation up. But I look at the people that might be watching the channel, and they might be someone that had a feeling of, I can't. And I want them to say, I can. I can. You know, and it doesn't mean I can run. I can get out of bed that morning.
Yeah.
I can do things. Maybe not like I used to. That person doesn't exist. Get them out of the equation. What are you able to do today and do it? Even if it's just walking that one road. Guess what? The next week you're walking 2 roads, 3 roads. You know, yeah. I can. Have those words be, I can.
I love that. That's amazing. Yeah, it's so true as well, because I think, like, I remember when I was first diagnosed and I was given all these like pamphlets and stuff from my nurse on like how I probably won't be able to work anymore, or I probably won't be able to do this anymore. And I was like, oh my God, like my life's over. What's going on? My thing, it's come out of nowhere. I think the hardest part was that changing mentality.
Yes.
You say, do you know what? No, I can do this, and I will beat this, and I will do like X, Y, Z, whatever I want. So
you're laughing someone who's sitting on the couch that's saying, I can't. And maybe at some point you'll motivate them enough to say, I can. And you're doing that.
That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, that's what I want to do. And I'm actually, since I started running, you'll find this really funny. My dad has actually took it upon himself to start giving me challenges to see how much like MS can be pushed and what can someone with MS do. So he's already got me on a climbing wall. So I've been climbing, which was interesting because I have really weak hands quite a lot of the time. So I was like, I should hold on to this. And we went bouldering as well, which is kind of climbing without the rope, which was very scary.
But you did it.
I did it somehow, but I did it. And that's kind of my mission, is to kind of see just how much I actually can do. So taking everything that I've said no to in the last 5-10 years and just going, no, let's do this. So yeah, I must be mad, but yeah. It's your drive, it's your perseverance. Continue to persevere. I mean, the fact of the matter is you technically took the word disabled and made it enabled on your own. I love that it's enabled warriors. I love that. I do. I think it's awesome. Keep it up. I love it. I love that too. I've kind of felt like that for a while as well. I was just like, I don't like this label of being disabled. Like, by dictionary definition, disabled is like lack of ability. I'm like, I don't lack ability. I'm just creatively abled. Do you know what I mean?
And one thing that people don't realize that we have in MS, I pulled my phone out for a second. If you can see this, it says reminder.
Yes, my phone looks like that too.
One of the things that's so funny is we have to remind ourselves, like, where my, I think I was told probably that, you know, I don't get hungry. So I have a phone that's like breakfast, lunch, take your Empira medication, dinner, get up, go work out, get up, go for a run. The reality is there are people who don't have MS and they have reminders on the phone. They just don't go on a podcast and talk about it. That's the difference.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. It's funny. I have to actually schedule in to have a rest in the afternoon as well, because I'm such a workaholic that I will just continue. Yeah. And then I'll just burn myself out by the end of the day. I really need to sleep. It's not good. It's not good. So what do you do to recover from like working out so much, to stop yourself from doing too much and kind of, you know, going down that path?
I have this phrase where I'll say 3:00 on Saturday. That's it. You're housebound. And even if I have an event that evening, then I'll change the day. It might be, okay, you come home from your practice on Sunday, 3:00, you're housebound. I try to pick a time. That's just a general time. But I try to say, okay, this is when, that's it. No social media, no phone calls, get a book, play some ocean, whatever sounds in your mind or whatever, and zone out.
Yeah.
I think whether you have MS or not, you've got to zone out, even if it's an hour.
Important. It's a good answer. No, I like that. And I kind of do, when I schedule in to have a rest in the afternoon, it's literally at the same time every day.
Yeah.
Like I'll either sleep, or I'll either just kind of sit there, or I'll watch something on YouTube or whatever. I'm just like chill out for a little bit. But it's so much better. So can you tell us about a time that you really challenged your MS and you beat it and you won?
The day they told me I had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember, and the reason why I can say that is one of the women. I'm not gonna say her full name. Her name is Jody. And she was actually there the day that I was diagnosed, and she's an old family friend.
Oh.
And she worked for the doctor, and she said, I would have been crying. She's like, we were just told you have acute demyelination. She felt for me. She was crying, and I wasn't. And she said, why? And I said, MS is going to have to deal with me. And at that moment, I did a complete 180. The day that I was diagnosed, it was the day I changed. And the day I won, because I could have taken that diagnosis in a whole different way. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to run again. I'm not going to move again. Yeah. It's over. And I said, oh no. No. And that, I feel like the day I was diagnosed was the day I won. And I feel like when I say it that way, it doesn't say I was diagnosed and, oh, this is terrible. It was like, no. And I remember it was, okay, we're going to see the next neurologist. We're going to get the AFOs. We're going to do everything we need to. No, the day I was diagnosed was the day I won, because it was the day that I refused to let the diagnosis beat me.
Wow, that's amazing.
And I have a witness to it, Jody. She was there.
We'll get her on the podcast too.
Yeah, we have to.
Oh, wow, amazing. So what kind of... Could you just remind us, like, what kind of MS do you have? So was it progressive MS?
So they have noticed that I am, and it's been 6 months since the diagnosis. I'm getting my next double round of Ocrevus on the 13th. I'm going to the National Institute of Health, mm-hmm. Which is in DC. And it's a clinic that really handles those that have more progressive forms. But all of the blood work and the signs show a very strong indication of primary progressive. Okay. It's just looking at more tests and more evaluations to confirm it. But clearly the vision loss, the dual AFOs, the spinal, and the majority and they're in my brain, yeah. But it's a title.
Yeah, totally.
It's so a title, because when I talk to the National Institute of Health, when I talk to them in DC, and I mean, they're flying me there, they're paying for my expenses, they're doing tests, they said, you're not letting this beat you. And you've got some serious lesions going on. I said, Anne, I didn't say it was great though. They're kind of getting in the way of stuff. But here's the reality. They have a drug that they're piloting, and I may have this opportunity now to trial it, mm-hmm. Because they've seen successes, which it rebuilds myelin.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So if I were to have given up, I would not know about NIH. I wouldn't be a part of this study. Mm. You know what I mean? But yeah, while they have noticed it is progressively, showing signs of getting worse, mm-hmm. I'm showing signs of getting stronger.
You are, and that's phenomenal. So what kind of medication have they put you on so far?
So I take Empira twice a day, which is a walk-aid drug. It helps with the gait. I don't know if they have Empira in the UK.
I've not heard of it, so I'm not quite sure, but I have relapsing remitting. So
it's AMPYRA. So it does help.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They have another name for it. It's a generic name, but so you have relapsing remitting. Mm-hmm. One of the drugs they gave me, and I don't know if you have it in the UK, it's Ocrevus. So I don't know if you have tried Ocrevus.
I've not tried it myself, but I have heard of it. Yeah.
So there's a drug called Tysabri, mm-hmm. and it's been very beneficial for patients. But because of me having such a high percentage of the John Cunningham virus, the JCV, I can only have Lemtrada or Ocrevus. which is another indication of having a very progressive form of the illness because of those numbers too.
Okay.
It just means that somewhere along the lines I caught a virus. It's a polyoma virus. Unfortunately, there's no cure for it, but it's sitting dormant. It doesn't mean it's going to wake up. It just means I have to stay on the Ocrevus, and I have to do those infusions. This is a double dose in May. Yeah. Otherwise, the next round I'll have after May will be 2 dosages separate, 2 weeks apart.
Wow. Okay. Amazing, isn't it? It's just amazing.
But it is. But I'll tell you, I walk into that infusion room with goodie bags. I take Burla bags with candies because we suffer from dry mouth.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And they're all natural, like ginger and stuff. And I have my Fight for Mobility sign that you saw in the first video. I have it, and I have a cooler of food. I always pack food for other patients.
Oh, that's so nice.
And I feel like if I go in there with that positive, like, yeah, I'm here like you. And I was in the room and it was all Tysabri patients.
Yeah.
And I was the only one with Ocrevus. And the nurse was talking about the benefits of Tysabri, and everyone said, yeah, but she's on Ocrevus. Wow. And I'm like, and she was like, she has a JC.
What's it to you?
and I think it was because one of the nurses they said, okay, Marissa's, yep, she's the only Ocrevus patient in today. And the nurse said, oh, well, she has a high, she said, well, can I say? I go, obviously, this is a room you can talk about it. Oh, well, I don't care. You can say it. I'm here. I have a high JCV. And they all were like, I said, yeah, and I plan on running tomorrow. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You have to battle what you're battling every day. And nobody can see it.
No, it's hard.
You can't see it. That's why my brain scans are on the channel. Like, because it kind of says if you could only see what we're dealing with, you would understand.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted my wall to be on that channel, the brain scans. Because what we're dealing with, you can't see it. But we feel it.
Yeah.
We have tingling in our fingers. We have random phantom pains in our legs.
It's hard. It's hard having MS.
It is.
It is hard.
But maybe it takes a special group of warriors to battle it,
It takes enabled warriors. That's what it takes.
I love that. It does. We are.
It's good, yeah. So I'm primarily an illustrator, and I've recently done a couple of commissions where I've kind of drawn the person as normal people see them on the outside, and then I've drawn them next to it with all their kind of symptoms on show almost. So like weights on their arms or legs, or like the legs are on fire, or like pins and needles in various places and things like that. And people have actually really responded really well to that, because it's kind of people have actually said to me, thank God that you've actually made it so that other people can see and understand, because you literally can't see any of this stuff from the outside, and it must be hard from somebody else's point of view to look at you and kind of just go, well, you look normal, like, what's wrong with you, kind of thing. So
they don't see it. I mean, after 2 events yesterday, my sister-in-law and my husband were with me, and I was on the bed, we ordered lunch into the room before we departed, and I had my cooler of food, on a special diet, and my sister-in-law looked at me, she goes, are you tired? And I said, yeah. It's a tire that nobody gets unless they have MS. It doesn't mean I minimize other people's fatigue. Everybody has different levels that they bear, whether they have MS. But she noticed, even in the car ride home, I was very quiet, and I was just like, I'm fine. Because I will tell you, I'm fine because my neurologist said to me, if I ask you right now, Jessie, how are you? And you were to say, I'm fine. Doesn't the conversation stop right there? Yes, it does. As MS patients,
time anyway.
because you know why? We don't have to answer. We're not going to say, well, my right leg, my head, I'm in pain. At the end of the day, as much as people that love us and care about us want to hear it, we also feel like we only can control what we tell people.
Totally. Yeah. And I think sometimes when you go into it a little bit more, they're kind of like, oh, I didn't realize that. Like, they kind of get a bit shocked, and they're kind of like, well, I don't know what to say to you now. Now I feel really awkward. Like,
it is.
You asked. It's like, what did she want me to say? Oh no, I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly okay.
It's easier to say I'm fine, and that's a common thing we say. I'm fine.
And just brush it off, and just like, I'll just deal with it on the inside. You just do your thing, I'll do my thing. Yeah, I do that all the time. It is crazy. So I'm going to ask you a little bit of a I don't know, a weird kind of question, I guess. But how do you think that, and you might have a different opinion to me, which is really interesting. How do you think that invisible disability is viewed by like the general public? So I know we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier with like parking permits and stuff, but do you find that people treat you differently?
So I will tell you that, being a diverse ethnic woman, being Hispanic woman, because I have fairer skin and lighter hair, I never had to deal with that.
Okay.
As soon as I started wearing my AFOs, as soon as people started seeing the disability show on the outside, it was hard to stomach at first, because a part of me was now changing. And I feel like that's an opportunity to really help those that don't understand better understand. So I've even spoken with my own company and with the Hanger Clinic, which we have, about how I want to be part of peer counseling, not only just to help the patients, but on a business platform, people aren't checking this box. So we have this box, when somebody applies for the job, they check, are you ethnic? Are you disabled? People don't check the box. People need to feel empowered to check the box, but the employers need to also respect that just because someone checked that box does not mean they can't do the job.
Yeah, totally.
And to me, it goes back to, if I can help educate others, then I've just done a service for you, fellow MS, those with not MS, and myself. People just aren't educated on what to do, what to say.
Absolutely. How do you think we could change that? How do you think we could educate more people, do you think?
I think it's the awareness. Your show, my channel, the teams that I met at the MS Walks, are we having those honest conversations? Are we saying more than just fine? How are you today? Honestly, I'm struggling, but I'm here.
Yeah.
We don't have to go through the entire list, I'm struggling, but I'm here. There's nothing wrong with saying that. I'm struggling, but I'm here. Today's not as great as the day yesterday, but guess what? I'm here. And it might open a conversation. It might open the person, and people those that want to know more to better understand, they'll ask. And those that don't, they weren't worth telling.
Yeah.
But it's all about companies educating their employees, employers. It's also about how we can personally educate the community to better understand what we're battling.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. I think as well, it would really help if we started at a younger level, if you know what I mean. So like kids, I think, are brilliant because they kind of just absorb and take in everything. And I think kids are brilliant for actually teaching their parents. Because I think when you tell an adult something, you try and teach an adult something, they're like, I think they kind of, for example, see me as being younger and you're kind of like, well, how do you know more than me? Because I'm older, kind of thing. But if you teach a kid, then the kid is just like amazing.
It's true. It's such a good analogy.
Across, didn't they?
It's a good analogy. I like that.
I don't know. It's amazing. But so last question before we go into the super quick secrets round. You said you were on a special diet. Can you tell me more about this diet? Because I'm very interested. Okay, so
I did a series of questions, met with a health and wellness coach, Kim. I have two Kims as coaches, which is confusing. I also have two neurologists and two coaches, but really I have one main coach and then I have an assessment coach. My main coach is like awesome. But the reality is they both made it very clear in a positive way that the leaner you are as a runner, the faster you are. So I said, I've got to get an all natural diet. What is that? So my diet in the morning might be eggs. It might be fruit and plain grass-fed yogurt. Lunch could be organic chicken or grass-fed beef. It's a lot of vegetables. It's kale. I'm on a 2-week detox right now. So none of it really has any Ezekiel bread or any breads. It's mostly just fruits and vegetables. And any dairy is yogurt, which is plain, and it's grass-fed. So it's eating very clean. And I will tell you, that's probably what got me through 2 back-to-back MS walks, a very clean diet.
Wow.
Very clean plan. Yeah. And my candy, if I want candy, is green pears or green apples, which is delicious. Earth's candy is the best candy you can eat. I mean, I was popping blueberries over the weekend, not chocolate, you know. That's, and I even brought my food. I mean, people were like, you're bringing a cooler to the hotel. And I feel amazing. I feel so amazing.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say, since I've been starting to eat clean, it's made such a difference.
Yeah. I used to eat a lot of tofu. I used to be a vegan, but I never could give up bacon. I did it for 1 year. I would actually put fake bacon until one day my friend came over and I made bacon and I put it on tofu sandwich and she's like, but I like that back. You're right. In agreement. Cleaner diet, the better diet.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Does help. Okay. Are you ready for some super quick secrets?
Yes. I hope I know the answers to my own secret questions.
Fine. Okay, question 1. What is the most inspiring book that you've ever read?
Oh, Where the Sidewalk Ends. Ooh. It is the best book ever. Where the Sidewalk Ends, Where it Begins, Shel Silverstein. Yeah, hands down, favorite book.
What's that one about?
So it's basically just, it's a series of stories that were built for children. It opens up imagination. And it also inwardly helps you understand that you are going to get to the other side of that sidewalk, you know, but you might have a series of events that are going to happen.
Yeah.
But you'll get there. And that's been my favorite book since I was a kid. And ironically, it's very powerful because when I read it as an adult, I'm going, wow, I read this as a kid. Yeah. Where the sidewalk ends and where it begins, you know, it's like MS, where the sidewalk ends, where we ended and where we now begin.
That's very true. Very true.
Yeah.
It's almost like we were all caterpillars before and now we're butterflies.
And one of the coolest orange butterflies ever.
Yes. Okay, what is your favorite comfort food?
My favorite comfort food? Oh, my word. Okay, so in full disclosure, I'm not eating this now.
Okay.
Dark chocolate chips in Teddy's plain crunchy peanut butter.
Ooh.
And I have honestly been on a conference call and I have opened up the bag, dumped it in the bag and then like proceeded to eat it with the intention that nobody's going to be, you know, peeping in my home while I'm doing it. Yeah, that's the comfort food right there. Probably because I can't have it right now, so I probably daydream about it. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I love peanut butter. It's so good. I'm not allowed it in my house. Not allowed it at all. No, because my husband actually grew up in pubs.
Okay.
You know, like bars kind of thing. And because he grew up in that environment, he was being around peanuts all the time and stuff. And he's got like a negative connotation from that. Mm. So like if he smells a peanut, then he was like, so I'm not allowed.
How about almonds? Because raw almond butter is awesome.
I love almonds, but he won't eat them. It's just like, no, or nuts, no.
We'll talk about this covert. We got to find out. You're a covert peanut butter lover. I like this.
Yeah.
This is a good combo.
He doesn't even like Nutella. I mean, you know.
We need to talk. He and I need to have a conversation.
No, he's weird. He's weird.
Start a movement. Help Jessie get her peanut butter.
It's fine because what he doesn't realize is actually I bought some and put it in the cupboard. So when he goes out, that's mine.
High five on that one.
Yeah. Do you know what's really nice as well? Apple slices with peanut butter.
Yes.
Oh my god, that is
so good. Or on celery. Like it helps you to eat celery.
I really hate celery.
You really do? But have you put peanut butter on it?
Vegetable. I'm just like,
You have to put peanut butter on it and make a peanut. Okay, that's it's life. Of course, right now I want peanut butter, so I'll probably tell you to put it with mustard because I can't have it right now.
Amazing. Okay, let's change the subject quick. What is the weirdest thing that you've ever done? I love this question.
The answers are just festival cotton candy girl.
Okay. What did that come about?
The news had come. I was still in high school, and we had like a cotton candy machine with maple syrup. It's like a sugar syrup from the
my goodness.
Here. And as I'm, making this cotton candy in the machine, they said, "Oh, this is our Marissa." And they said my maiden name at the time, Marissa Beauchamp. She's our maple cotton candy girl. I have not lived that down 20 years later.
Oh no.
Yeah, and that was weird. You know, I'm like, what?
You must have been really good at it.
That was the weirdest thing ever. I don't even like maple syrup because of that. I think I'm just like jilted. Usually it's great on pancakes, but now I'm like, no.
Oh, and bacon.
And bacon, yeah, but now I'm jilted. I'm so jilted by that. And it's the weirdest thing I ever did, being a cotton candy girl.
That's so funny.
So wrong and sticky.
The question, the answers that I get to that question is just like the best part of this interview. It's amazing. So what is the favourite place that you visited?
Oh, Italy.
Italy. I'm so jealous. I want to go there so bad.
Tuscany was Firenze, the market, even though all the shoes were much smaller. I'm like 9.5, 10 size shoe. I'm in Firenze. They're like, your feet are too big. And I'm like,
like, oh.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like waking up to the sunrise in Tuscany and going to sleep watching the sunset there. It's just heavenly. I mean, Under the Tuscan Sun is, I can watch that movie over and over again. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love that. Because like pizza is my favourite food. So like Italy is just my dream destination.
We can be friends. We can be friends.
Are you, I think I know this answer to this question, but are you a dog person or a cat person?
Both. I mean, my cat's named Fido, so yeah.
Oh, here's my dog. She's brought a teddy bear. Where have you got that from? Amazing.
I'll take pictures on my Instagram and I'll post must love dogs when I take a picture of a dog.
That's amazing. Right, scariest thing that you've ever done.
I did a Tough Mudder, which was an obstacle course. I don't know if they have them where you are.
I've seen these.
And I had to climb a wall and jump a wall.
Ugh.
I did it.
Wow.
I remember, and I'm not afraid of heights. The thing is, there was nobody on the other side of the wall. And I'm like hanging there and like literally going down very slowly.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the scariest. And it was so cool. Like, I would do it again. I'm looking at a Spartan race in November. Yeah, I'll do it again. It was awesome. It's funny. The things that scare you also motivate you.
Totally, yeah. And just getting out of that comfort zone, it just feels so good at the end.
Oh, yeah. Like, I was
so
cool. Yeah. I'll send you a wall picture after our discussion. I'll send it to you. The infamous wall.
That'd be amazing. So what is your favorite hobby at the moment?
I love listening to just jazz music. And
I love jazz music.
Like, play it. It's just amazing. And like all the artists that I normally would have right now that should be coming to my head are not coming to my head. But yeah, I just listen to jazz music and I just love to cook. I just love to cook and just play it and cook and then call my friends and say, I made a lot of food and come over and let's eat this together. Yeah, it's so much fun.
Oh, that's so good. I love it. I love cooking. What is a hobby that you've always wanted to try out?
So someone told me about this and I'm going to hold them to it. It's tree climbing and swinging.
Okay.
There's actually an excursion, obviously going back to the heights, and it's empowering. Like, you climb the tree and then there's a swing and you swing to the next one.
Oh, wow.
And it's just, I mean, you're all harnessed in, right? But again, it goes to that freeness, right?
Mm.
And I think I've never done it. It just sounds really cool. It sounds better than zip lining. I think zip lining would just kind of freak me out a bit. I think the rope would just break. Probably Insta-storing it going down. But
all of the sound effects that come with that.
Sounds way better. Hug the tree, go to the next one. Hug the tree, go to the next one. Yeah. I don't know. It sounds cool.
That sounds cool. That does sound cool. Oh my gosh. It's amazing. I've absolutely loved this interview. It's been so much fun. Where can other warriors find out more about you and what you do?
Yeah. So if you're looking for comic relief, I don't necessarily think my Insta stories are funny. I'm usually like, I died after that run. But if you find me funny, or if you thought I was funny at all, follow me on my Instagram, which is Marissa Mo, Risamoe, Marissa Mo, which is named after my nieces and nephews call me Marisa. My family call me Mo, or my friends call me Mo, I should say. My family calls me Marisa. My friends call me Mo, M-O-E. Or my YouTube channel. We have some more upcoming videos. We're going to be bringing some more characters to the channel. Watch out. You might be getting a call, lady.
so excited for this.
Well, I mean, I want to go to the UK and like film it there.
Come to the UK. Oh my gosh, you could stay with me.
Totally. I'd be in your flat.
Sofa.
What do you call a house in the UK or a flat or?
So a flat is normally if it's all on like one level.
Yeah.
That's a flat. Or if it's like a first. Actually, do you know, I've never had to explain the difference to this, and I've never thought about this before. But like a bungalow is different to a house. It's different to a flat.
Like it's just, you know, and I've been trying so hard. My friends are like, don't try to be British on that show. I want to be like, I want to stay in a bungalow on your sofa.
Well, Paul's grandma stays in a bungalow, so we can introduce you to her if you want.
Grandma. And in Spanish, grandma's abuela. So I'd be like, hey, abuela, let's go to Harrods. Get some chocolate and peanut butter. And go say hello to Harry. See, this would be so wrong. Maybe we could just do the video by computer.
Maybe we'll have to do it over Skype or something.
Maybe a Skype one. Poor grandma's she didn't even realize she's going to Harrods with me to go see Harry. Harry doesn't.
Okay, finally, right, slightly odd question. Not that any of them have been not odd, but what is the best thing about having an invisible illness, do you think?
The best thing about having an invisible illness is that I've gotten to meet some amazing people. Like I would not have.
So sweet.
Yeah. And for that, I very have, like it's a backward compliment to MS. I really hate you, but I love you because I would not have met people like Jessie. So for that, I'm thankful.
That's lovely. That's such a nice thing to say.
Mm.
So, okay. That is all the questions you'll be glad to know. So thank you so much for coming on this interview today.
Awesome.
Because you're so inspiring and I absolutely love you. You're amazing. I'm so glad that I've had you here.
Before we actually stop recording, I am going to have to get an Insta story about how I got to be really cool with you and do a podcast and
do your awesome British accent.
You're like, hello. What's terrible is I channel Mrs. Doubtfire, which is really bad.
Oh, wow. It's funny because you all think that we talk like Mary Poppins and we really don't.
And I go straight to Mrs. Doubtfire. Have you watched Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yes, on repeat.
Okay. So I do. I go totally to Mrs. Doubtfire, which is not.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So let me know when I can actually record this. Okay. Are you okay with me doing it now? Okay. Are we still on recording?
Sure. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's finish recording and then you can do this story. How's that? Oh my gosh, you got it ready. Okay, thank you so much for coming on the show today. You can connect with Marisa on Fight for Mobility on YouTube.
Yes.
Go and search for that. And do you want to just repeat the name of your Insta channel again?
Yes. Marissa Mo. RISAMOE. Come for comment relief, not for anything else.
So if you're a fan of peanut butter, go and follow Marisa. And remember, warriors, stay enabled. Thanks so much, Marisa.
If you want to fight back against your invisible illness and help take the dis out of disability, then join the tribe on Facebook, facebook.com/enabledwarriors. If you love this podcast, click that subscribe button and never miss another episode. And remember, warriors, stay enabled.